She came through the door like she always did, dropping her keys on the kitchen counter with a soft clink that echoed in the silence. That same tune hummed under her breath, something French, airy and pretentious. She only hummed it when she came back from him. I waited at the dining table, hands folded in front of me, the divorce papers spread neatly between us like a weapon that didn't need to be cocked to be deadly. "We need to finalize the divorce by Friday," I said, my voice far too calm for what it was delivering. I was past anger. "So you can enjoy your AP as a free woman." She stopped mid-step. The color drained from her face all at once, as if someone had pulled the plug on her blood supply. Her lips parted like she wanted to speak, an excuse, maybe a plea, but nothing came out. Just silence. Then she screamed. It was raw, primal, disbelieving. But I didn't flinch. I didn't raise my voice. I looked straight into her eyes, those same eyes that once promised me forever, and said, "You should sit down." We had been married for 9 years. High school sweethearts. I know it sounds like a cliché, but we really believed we'd beaten the odds. In a world addicted to swiping left and right, to likes and lust dressed up as love, we thought we were real. We had started with nothing, just a one-bedroom apartment above a pawn shop and ramen dinners after double shifts. Over time we built a life, a modest 3-bedroom home in the suburbs, a rescue dog, matching mugs and habits we called love. She was a 3rd-grade teacher. I worked in IT for a network of local hospitals. We weren't flashy, but we were solid, or so I thought. She was my anchor, my calm, my constant. When everything else felt unpredictable, she was home. But then things started shifting. It was slow at first. More late nights for grading, more out-of-town teacher workshops, a sudden obsession with fitness classes she never invited me to. At first, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Love does that. It makes you blind in beautiful ways, until the blindness turns into something else. Something willful. You stop seeing because you're afraid of what's right in front of you. She started locking her phone, changed her passwords, became defensive about simple things, a text, a missed call, where she had been. "I just need space," she said once, and I gave her space. What I didn't give her anymore was trust. That had already started dying. It was a random Tuesday when everything unraveled. She left her iPad open on the couch. I wasn't even snooping, not at first. I was walking by when the screen lit up with a message that felt like a punch to the chest. "Last night was amazing. Same time Thursday?" That one line split my life in half. I didn't confront her, not immediately. Instead, I sat down. I read. I scrolled. I dove headfirst into every message, every selfie, every late-night whisper typed with the same fingers that used to trace promises on my skin. 7 months. It had been going on for 7 months. His name was Andrew Palmer, her assistant principal. Married. 2 kids. He wasn't just some stranger. He was the man she laughed about over dinner. She used our money to rent hotel rooms. Used our home as her cover story. All while I was home folding her laundry and cooking her meals. But I didn't scream. I didn't even cry. I documented. Because betrayal is an art, but so is revenge. I bought a burner phone. I created encrypted folders. Every message, every photo, every timestamp, backed up and stored. I made sure nothing was missing. I became meticulous, methodical. I learned about Andrew, his schedule, his wife's name, the school policies on inappropriate conduct. I watched quietly as they slipped deeper into the fantasy, completely unaware that their stage was wired. So when she walked through the door that day, humming like she hadn't burned the house down, she had no idea the match was already lit. And when I slid those papers across the table, it wasn't a negotiation. It was closure. On my terms. And she had no one to blame but herself. Michelle Palmer was a pediatric nurse, known around town not just for her work but for her presence. She sang soprano in the church choir every Sunday, always standing tall in front, beaming with devotion. Online she was even louder, Facebook posts flooded with photos, updates, little quotes about love, loyalty, and faith. To the world, she was a doting wife, a caring nurse, a pillar in the community. But I knew better. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I didn't even confront her, not at first. I went quiet. I began with a USB drive. No note. No explanation. Just the drive, dropped in our mailbox, addressed to Michelle. Inside were things I had found. Screenshots, pictures, timestamps, confirmations. Enough to make her stop and think. Let her come to her own conclusions, I thought. Let her sweat. Next, I went to see a lawyer. Quietly. I didn't want a messy scene, just control. I opened separate bank accounts under my name only. Rerouted my paycheck so the money went straight into them. I initiated the process to split assets and began transferring my stock portfolio into a trust. She didn't notice, she was too busy laughing in the dark. Then came the recordings. I placed voice recorders strategically, one in our bedroom, one hidden in her car, and another in the home office. The things I captured weren't graphic. They were worse. They were cold. Calculated. Conversations about me, jokes behind my back, planning her next steps with him. Talking about life after me like I was already gone. They strategized as if I were the fool, the obstacle. She never once noticed my silence. She mistook it for surrender. Thought she was clever. Thought she had won. So, I began pulling at the threads she had so carefully stitched together. I canceled our joint credit cards, froze the shared accounts, slowly but surely dismantled the financial house we had built. All the while, she smiled through church services, planned girls' nights, and texted him from the bathroom while I bathed the dog. Then I set the final trap. I told her I was planning something special for our 9th anniversary. Said we needed to reconnect, rekindle the flame. Her eyes lit up. She had no idea. I invited our closest friends, 14 people who'd known us for years. I booked her favorite restaurant, got a private room, even arranged candles and soft music. She wore red that night, lipstick to match. She was glowing, thinking she had fooled me completely. The evening began like any other. Small talk, drinks, laughter. Then I stood to give a toast. 9 years, I began raising my glass. A lot to celebrate, and a lot to let go of. A few people chuckled politely, sensing something was off. Michelle blinked at me, a frozen smile on her face. I have an announcement, I said, pulling a small folder from inside my jacket. We're getting divorced. Silence fell like a dropped curtain. Her hand trembled around her wine glass. She didn't move. Don't worry, I added calmly. You'll be free by Friday. Just in time to enjoy Andrew's company without guilt. There was an audible gasp. Her sister, probably. I placed the folder in front of her. Inside were screenshots of her messages, transcripts of the recordings, a copy of the USB. Every detail, every lie, every moment she thought she was clever, it was all there. Michelle didn't say a word. Couldn't. Her entire face collapsed in slow motion in front of everyone. Then I turned to Lisa, her best friend, the one who had smiled in my face while covering her tracks. You covered for her, I said evenly. Thought I didn't know. Lisa dropped her fork. And finally, I looked at my parents, who sat at the end of the table in quiet dignity. Thank you, I told them, for raising me with integrity. It helped me do this the right way. Then I walked out. Before dessert. She chased me to the parking lot, mascara running down her face like ink in a storm. You ruined my life, she sobbed. No, I said, turning to face her. Calm. Always calm. You lit the match. I just handed you the mirror. She reached for me, but I stepped back. You don't get to touch me anymore. Her breath caught. Why? She whispered. You cheated with your boss in hotel rooms we could barely afford, I said, my voice steady. While I was at home fixing our leaking roof. That's why. She broke down then. Completely. I walked away and didn't look back. That night I slept better than I had in years. The silence no longer a weight, it was peace. Her reputation was in ruins. Her affair laid bare. My finances protected. But more than all of that, I had reclaimed something far more valuable. Myself. Quietly. Strategically. Completely. People think revenge is rage. It's not. It's precision. It's patience. She painted a lie with smiles and secrets. I signed it with the truth. Betrayal is an art. But so is justice.